In this lesson, we are going to discuss the different threat actor motivations. In the world of cybersecurity, there is always an ongoing battle between the good folks and the bad folks. And in order to defend ourselves better against those bad folks, or threat actors as we like to call them, we need to understand the motivations behind their attacks. By understanding and acknowledging what drives these individuals or groups, we can better calculate their moves, develop effective protective measures, and ultimately better protect our enterprise networks. It is important to remember that there is a difference between the intent behind an attack and the motivation that fuels that attack. The threat actor's intent refers to the specific objective or goal that a threat actor is aiming to achieve through their attack. Their motivation, on the other hand, is really their underlying reasons or driving forces that pushes a threat actor to carry out the attack. So, in this lesson, we'll consider the different motivations behind threat actors, including data exfiltration, blackmail, espionage, service disruption, financial gain, philosophical or political beliefs, ethical reasons, revenge, disruption or chaos, and war. First, we have data exfiltration. Data exfiltration refers to the unauthorized transfer of data from a computer. For example, if an attacker is able to log into one of your organization's computers and steal your client contact information, this means that they have successfully exfiltrated data from your organization. Threat actors motivated by this want to access your organization's sensitive information, such as IP or intellectual property, personal identifiable information or PII, or trade secrets. This stolen data can be used for various purposes, including selling it on the dark web, using it for identity theft, or leveraging it for a competitive advantage, which is why data exfiltration is one of the biggest motivations for many of the different threat actors out there. Second, we have financial gain. Financial gain is one of the most common motivations for cybercriminals. At the end of the day, what is something that all criminals like to do? That's right, steal something and gain money from that crime, and cybercriminals are no different. Achieving financial gain as a criminal can be achieved through various means, such as ransomware attacks where a threat actor encrypts a victim's data and demands for a ransom, or through banking trojans that allow them to steal financial information in order to gain unauthorized access into the victim's bank accounts. Third, we have blackmail. Blackmail is another motivation that drives certain threat actors. In these cases, the attacker obtains sensitive or compromising information about an individual or an organization, and threatens to release that information to the public unless certain demands are met. These demands often involve a financial transaction, typically requested in the form of untraceable cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The threat of reputational damage, legal repercussions, or financial loss can be a strong motivator to convince victims that they should comply with the blackmailer's demands. Cyber blackmail can take many forms, including ransomware, doxing, or even sextortion, where a person's own lewd photos are stolen and the attacker demands a payment or else they will publicly release the victim's photos online. Fourth, we have service disruption. Some threat actors aim to disrupt the services of various organizations, either to cause chaos, make a political statement, or to demand a ransom. This is often achieved by conducting a distributed denial of service attack to overwhelm a network, service, or server with excessive amounts of traffic, so that it becomes unavailable to its normal users. These service disruptions can lead to significant financial and reputational damages for the affected organizations. For example, GitHub, a popular website used by software developers, was the victim of a large DDoS attack in 2018 that lasted for about 20 minutes, and during the time, millions of GitHub users were unable to access the site since their servers were being flooded with excessive traffic from the DDoS attack. Fifth, we have philosophical or political beliefs. Attacks that are conducted due to the philosophical or political beliefs of the attackers is known as hacktivism, and this is a common motivation for a specific type of threat actor known as a hacktivist. These individuals or groups use hacking to promote a political agenda, social change, or to protest against organizations they perceive as ethical. Their actions can range from website defacement to data leaks. This type of hacktivism usually targets different types of organizations and groups, including those in the political, financial, and media industries. 6. We have ethical reasons. Contrary to malicious threat actors, ethical hackers, also known as authorized hackers, are motivated by a desire to improve security. These are your pen testers and your bounty hunters. They mimic the way a malicious threat actor operates in order to further improve an organization's security. These ethical hackers and penetration testers focus on identifying vulnerabilities in an organization's systems and networks with the intention of patching and mitigating those vulnerabilities to prevent a potential exploit by a malicious threat actor. Seventh, we have revenge. Revenge is a powerful motivation for some threat actors. An employee who is disgruntled or one who has recently been fired or laid off might want to harm their current or former employer by causing a data breach, disrupting services, or leaking sensitive information. Similarly, revenge can also be a motivation for a threat actor that wants to target an entity that they believe has wronged them in some way. Eighth, we have disruption or chaos. Some threat actors are motivated by a desire to create disruption or chaos. These actors, often referred to as unauthorized hackers, engage in malicious activities for the thrill of it, to challenge their skills or simply to cause harm. As Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's infamous butler, said in The Dark Knight, "Some men just want to watch the world burn." The actions of a threat actor who is focused on disruption or chaos could range from creating and spreading malware to launching sophisticated cyberattacks against the critical infrastructure in a populated city. Ninth, we have espionage. Espionage is another common motivation for threat actors, and this one involves spying on individuals, organizations, or nations to gather sensitive or classified info. Cyber espionage is often motivated by national security interests when conducted by a nation-state, or gaining competitive business intelligence when conducted by a rival company, or to gain political advantage when being conducted by hacktivists or nation-state actors. Often, you will find espionage activities are conducted by nation-state actors who are seeking to gain strategic advantages over other nations that they view as their adversaries. And 10th, we have war. In the context of modern warfare, cyber attacks have increasingly become a tool for nations to attack each other both on and off the battlefield. Cyber warfare can be used to disrupt a country's infrastructure, compromise its national security, and to cause economic damage. Nation-state threat actors are most often found to be the source of attacks that are motivated by geopolitical objectives. So remember, in cybersecurity, it is important to understand the motivations behind different types of threat actor attacks to help formulate an effective defense against them. Threat actors are driven by diverse motivations that range from those seeking data exfiltration and financial gain, to those pursuing blackmail, service disruption, or actions aligned with a philosophical or political belief. Some hackers are driven by ethical reasons and help us enhance the security of our organization's networks, while others may act out of revenge, a desire for chaos, espionage, or even trying to use cyber warfare to achieve their nation's geopolitical objectives. By properly recognizing the driving forces behind these threat actors, we can better predict how they might attack us and develop protective countermeasures to prevent a future attack against our organization.